let's talk about this trip that I went on, not for one, not for two, but for 5 people, and didn't come out of my pocket one dime, not $1, one red cent. Let's get into it. All right, guys. So I went on a trip, a family trip, with myself, my children, and dad. Went to celebrate my son's 18th birthday. So that's super exciting in itself. But we kind of combined his 18th birthday with just a winter getaway, something nice, fresh, and new to bring in the new year right before school starts, because my children go to school year round. So they weren't back in school yet. So I was like, okay, cool. Now, mind you, I had been thinking about this trip towards the end of October. My son's birthday is in January. So I have been thinking about this trip towards the end of October. However, I didn't want to take it out of my budget. So if it sounds like I didn't have the funds, that means it wasn't within my budget. The funds are always there, but I'm very particular about budgeting, saving, having emergency funds, etc., etc. So anyway, my thoughts initially last year when it came to November, and I'm like, okay, I'm gonna do this trip. But where is the money gonna come from? So I obviously got a nudge, an inkling. Why don't you just manifest it? Why don't you attract the money that you are looking to spend on this trip? And I was like, that's a good idea. That's an awesome idea to actually practice my faith. So I was like, cool, let's do it, right? So November came and I started talking about this trip with my sister. Like, I want to do this. This is my plans, but I got to get the money. Like, I need the money for the room. I need the money for a flight for 5 tickets. And if you know, you know. Like, planning for a family of 5 or planning a trip for 5, let me say, is not easy. But I love planning, and I'm very organized and meticulous about the things that I like. So yeah, this is so for me. So anywho, fast forward, I was talking to her and I was like, I got all these things that I have to do for this child's senior year. We have prom coming up. I still have to pay for cap and gown, graduation, invitations, etc., etc. So I'm like, why am I getting excited about all of these future things that I have to pay for? Like, girl, you got this. Like, you don't have to pay for this trip at all. We're going to manifest it. I set my heart on that. And I stuck to my guns. Like, this is not coming out of your funds. If it's meant to be, it's going to be, someone else is going to pay for it, right? So guess what? My father, November, I started talking about it because every year my father sends money around Christmas time. Although we don't celebrate Christmas, he sends money around that time just for my children to have, spending money, on their winter break. Wonderful. He sent money for them. Here it is, because I want you to see how I was able to buy these flights, right? So here's the money that he sent, and I was like, I looked at it and I was like, oh my gosh, I'm going through all the airlines. Clearly, this is not enough to fly 5 people round trip to Puerto Rico from where I am. So I'm like, I almost went into a panic, but I know how that messes up the frequency and the vibration. So I was like, don't panic. You still have plenty of time. Cool. Continue to manifest. Continue to do your work, which I did. So I think it was like a week and a half later. And it kind of felt like I started to lose the faith. But all of a sudden, out of the blue, right when I started to feel like that, I got a Cash App out of nowhere. Another one from my father. So first it was the $350, and then he sent another $150. So what is that, $500? So I'm like, oh my gosh, let me go back on here. So now I'm getting nervous, right? Because obviously every day counts when you're trying to book a flight, knowing it's getting close to that date, the numbers go crazy. It goes up, like, so typically I fly United Airlines, American Airlines, or Delta. I'm like, I'm gonna give them the experience, but I'm not trying to hurt myself trying to take them on vacation. I'm not gonna do it. So I was like, let me look at other airlines, budgeted airlines, in which I'm able to make this dream happen. So I started to look at Frontier, and I was like, okay, cool. So listen, I go on TikTok, because TikTok gives you some gems sometimes. I go on TikTok and I was like, how can I get these tickets for cheaper? Because every time I put this in my computer, it's coming up as the tickets are going to be like $750, $800. I'm like, I'm not paying that. So I come across this TikTok where it shows that if you go to the airline, you will save a ton of money on your tickets from the airport. So I'm like, cool, I'm 20 minutes from the airport, I'm gonna drive there and get these tickets, right? So I get the tickets. So mind you, I didn't know how much the tickets was gonna cost. I just kind of ballparked it based on the videos that I was watching and their savings. Now, mind you, this little hack or trick no longer exists. So I don't want to set you guys up for something that you cannot get anymore, because they stop offering these discounted rates as of January 1st of 2024 from buying from the airlines. But anywho, I go to the airline, I purchase the tickets. Okay, look at how much I got the tickets for. Like, I can't make this up. Like, 5 tickets round trip under $540. I mean, yeah, I did that. So, and the flight was max 3 hours, 15 minutes max. Mind you, the plane wasn't full. Like, you could have your whole row to yourself if you wanted to. It was over 120 seats empty. Like, it was love on the way there. On the way back, it still wasn't full. You still had a way where you could pretty much sit wherever you wanted to within your zone. So yeah, I wasn't even mad, because you hear a lot of negative things about this airline. And no, I didn't have to check any bags. I didn't have to pay for any carry-ons. Like, I just paid for the tickets. We bought our clothes, and we still had room to bring back some souvenirs. So yes, that was a wonderful thing. But boom, trip is paid for. So now I gotta figure out, where are we sleeping? Girl, how are we getting the funds for sleep? But I didn't have to worry about that, because obviously I'm paying. I already agreed to pay for the flights, and I told Dad, listen, I'll pay for the flights, don't worry about it, but I'll need you to match or meet me as far as setting up a place for us to stay when we go there. Now, I told him, as he knows a little bit about me, but I like a little bit of luxe in my vibe, especially while I'm vacationing, okay? Give me luxury, give me top tier, give me top notch. Like, I really want to experience the experience. I want to experience to the experience. So anywho, the first room he booked it was all right. I wasn't crazy about it, but it worked out. Or did it, because they canceled. Mind you, listen, our trip was canceled 4 times when it came to like securing a home. And let me just say, this was not a smooth all around process, okay? You gotta be persistent when you're manifesting. Like, you gotta be persistent. So he books the room, canceled. Then he books another, and like, when I say canceled, they canceled 40, almost 36 hours before it was time to take off. We booked another one. This is on Airbnb site. They canceled, closed this account, gave us some fictitious, bogus reason about why he couldn't, rent from Airbnb. He was really frustrated. And I was like, listen, we're not going to do that, because it was going to mess up my vibe. Like, I was like, no, calm down. I'm going to help you look. So we get on there, we find another Airbnb. This is the third one. I fell in love with this one. My ideas are always superb. But I fell in love with this. I sent him the link. I was like, we're going to book it from here, not Airbnb, obviously, because we can't use that. I'm not setting up an Airbnb account considering how they just did business with you. Let's go through somewhere else. So we get on Expedia, and we find this beautiful home, right? And literally, everything is fine. We get off the plane on the way to going to the rental car place. I'm signing for the rental car because I want to rent a car while I'm there. Anyway, we're going to the rental car to pick up the car when we get off the plane, and we get another email saying that the room was canceled, the power went out in this unit. But here's the thing, because we didn't fret, considering how we handled the other 3 cancellations, guess what? It worked out, right? It worked out in our favor, because not only was this canceled, but the owner went above and beyond and said, you know what? I'm going to give you an even better unit, which is upgraded, costs more for the same price, and I hope you guys enjoy. If there's anything else you need from us, please let us know, blah, blah. I was blown away, but at the same time, I had so much gratitude, and I was like reassured, because I'm like, yes, this is exactly how things are supposed to happen when you don't overreact, or you don't just react. You wait to respond and see how things are, right? So we get there, and guys, it is completely lovely. The home is gorgeous. Look yourself. All right, check out the entryway. When you first walk in, the ambiance is so beautiful. I love this bench here. The beautiful blues were so welcoming. With this welcome sign, the marble everywhere. If you know me, you know I love tile floors. It just gives me luxury vibes. But this entire unit was graced with this beautiful marble throughout the entire suite. I am loving the kitchen because I have an option not to eat out every day. And that's really convenient, especially for breakfast times when I just don't feel like getting up. Now, stepping into the first bedroom, you guys, I'm sorry, but I got to take you through this entire unit because it is so gorgeous. So here's the first bedroom. You have the mirror doors. It is also a TV in every room, which I really loved. The main bathroom. The only thing I did not like about this unit is you see it purposely is missing a toilet seat here, but no complaints. Going into the next bedroom, it has a double bunk beds in which my children decided to sleep here, at least the youngest 2. Don't mind their mess. But yes, and also another TV here. So they have the option to either watch TV in that room, the first room, or either the living room. So going back into the third bedroom, we have, now this is where my eldest slept, and yeah, I'm not gonna turn on the light, but here is my room, and yeah, I kind of messed up the bed already, but yeah, here is my room, and of course I have my own bathroom here. But check out the blues, like check out the art all over the ceiling, like from head to toe, from the ceiling to the floor base. It was really beautiful. Yeah, my stuff is spread all out. We got here at nighttime. So yeah, I was just trying to get situated. And yeah, coming back out the room into the hallway, I want you to see how shiny these tile floors are. I mean, completely beautiful. Like, it is remarkable. They did so well with designing this unit. I couldn't have asked for anything better. The cancellations paid off. Okay, so what everybody wants to know is, how did I do this? Like, how did you make this happen? How did you manifest this? Girl, I'm so glad that you asked. So if there's a couple of things that I did. I highly recommend, if you want to try it yourself, that you grab a pen, a piece of paper, or save this video. I'm gonna give you the actual steps that I took throughout this entire process. So remember, starting out October, I was just thinking about it, right? November is when I actually got clear and precise about the goal of, okay, we're gonna do it. I'm committed to actually doing this process of increasing my faith, right? Okay, so what I did, step one, I made the goal, and I said to myself, listen, we are not going to worry about how this is going to come to us, right? We're not going to worry about, we cannot box ourselves in and say, oh, this is going to come from my boyfriend, or I'm going to get the money from a lottery ticket, or, you know, because it's never going to come that way. If you box yourself in and think, oh, maybe my baby daddy will pay child support, or maybe, you know, if you box yourself in, it's going to lower, if anything, prevent it from happening, right? Because you are telling the universe that these are the only ways that you can bring me this money. Remember, this is limitless. Leave options open. Leave the options open. You never know how you're going to get that money. So I left my options open and remembered, just out of the blue, oh, my dad normally sends money around this time. I had the expectation of receiving money, but if I didn't from him, I was still open to receiving it in other ways, right? So that's number one. Keep your options open. Number two, I started the visualization process. So my son, my 8-year-old, had never been on a plane, so I could run with this, right? I could run with visualizing him getting on this plane, the nervous jitters that you have, him asking questions, me explaining to him about your ears popping, etc., etc. And I can build on that visualization. So what do I mean by build on that visualization? So that means it just doesn't stop there, right? So I said, remember us driving to the airport, then very excited, all, you know, wondering about what's on our itinerary, what we're gonna do. Then I started thinking, adding to that visualization about what goes on in your airport. So when you're flying, you have to go through TSA, through the checkpoints, and you have to take off your shoes, and you gotta bring your things through the scanner, and you gotta stand up, and you gotta turn around. And also I started visualizing all 5 of us actually going through it there. I mean, waiting, because my son, you know, he's shorter than all of us, so he walks a little bit slower. So I actually visualized all of these steps, all the way up until the landing, right? Us sitting at the window seat, looking over the clouds, talking about it, taking videos. Like, it was so fun. So that's the next thing, is you want to get into the feeling. Like, you start with the visualization, but now you need to start getting in the feeling. The more you visualize, try to do this daily. The more you visualize how this is going to work out for you, right? You start to feel it. So as I'm thinking about all this stuff, I'm starting to feel like, it makes me feel good knowing that my son is excited about going on this trip and, you know, being able to be on his first flight. So that's exciting. And I was able to look at his smile in my vision and smile with him and hear the conversations and feel the gratitude that everyone had. Like, oh my gosh, I can't believe this, and we are taking our first trip on the plane, and so it was really fun with that. Keep the faith, guys, every step of the way, because like I told you, you will have hiccups, but these hiccups is just a test of your faith to see how you're going to react. In my past, I would have never reacted as smooth or calm as I did today, okay? I wouldn't have ever. I would have panicked. I would have had an anxiety attack. I would have started cursing, and then I would have gave up. because I like smooth processes. But I wasn't giving up on this. I was not giving up on this because I believed that it was going to work out. Even after this several cancellations, I would completely reject it because it wasn't in my manifestation. It wasn't what I seen in my vision. So I'm not going to accept that because that's not the truth. And I continue to think that way. Like when I started to feel like I'm not as faithful today because where is the rest of this money coming from? I'm not, in the highest vibration. I started to get on YouTube and I started to look at videos where people were making things happen for them, where they was also going through little things of test of faith, but it all worked out on the end, on the back end. So I did the work. I took the initiative to keep the faith by looking at other videos to help me say, you know what, this is not what it looks like. I know that it's trying to throw me off of my game, but I know it's going to work out. So great. So again, you want to make sure you have expectancy. Don't lock yourself in a box. It's limitless where this money can come from. Visualize and keep the faith. Guys, if you want more information on this, I am more than happy to help. I normally do this with my clients, but I just wanted to show you that it definitely works. And I cannot wait to share some feedback that I have from people that, I've been talking about this with. And I have given them manifestation tips and techniques, and it's working. So I cannot wait to share that, as well as the excursions and everything that we did on this trip. But I don't want this video to be so long because it's already longer than what I anticipated. But guys, have fun with this. Do not make this a chore. Do not make this, I don't know, but come from a place of joy while doing your manifestation, and not a place of resistance, like forceful, right? Because when you start to force it, like this has to happen, you get resistance. So just be free with it and the rest will work itself out. With all further ado, guys, thank you for coming and allowing me to share another video with you. Please subscribe, like, and share. I always forget to tell you guys that midway, halfway through, but it's because I like you to be able to get value out of my content. And I mean, if you like it, you like it. If you don't, you don't. But with all said and done, please subscribe, like, and share, and comment below any experiences you may have had or anything you're trying to do right now that you may want some tips or advice on. Until next time.